Hi, welcome to Pi School. Tonight's lesson is on variables. What is a variable? Well, it's a way of representing numbers in a named format. You may think, what? But think of temperature. Now, we know what temperature is. It's how hot or cold it is. And if we go outside, we go, oh, it's really hot. And if it's a look at the thermometer, it may say 25 degrees. Or it could be, oh, really cold. And the thermometer may say -3 degrees. Those values vary depending if it's summer or winter, and they change on a daily basis. So temperature is a variable. Age is another variable. Dylan is 8 at the moment. Later in the year he'll be 9, and next year he'll be 10. So age is something which varies in a predictable manner. Every year, sadly, we get a year older. So how can we use that in programming? Well, without further ado, let's jump straight into a command line. Remember from previous lessons, little black box down here brings up your command line, and then we activate the Python interpreter by Python, Python, enter. Here we are. Okay, so the first thing we do is called defining a variable. So Mark, that's me, and I am 50. So Mark equals 50. And Dylan equals 8. Now, to get those numbers back, we can simply type print Mark, and the number 50 comes back on the screen. Remember from before I told you to be careful about spelling. Print Mark comes up with an error because I didn't use a capital M for Mark. Print Dylan comes up with the number 8. Now that number on its own, you don't know what it is. So from a computer point of view, we have to add some text around it as well. So what we do is put print speech marks. Remember we put hello world last time? This time we're going to put Dylan is, and then we'll use a comma to separate out two items on a line. Just like when you're reading a book, a comma makes you pause, take a breath. The same sort of thing here when we're getting the computer to print something on the screen. It separates out the Dylan is text from Dylan the variable. And so when we hit return, Dylan is 8. Okay, so that's how we can print the values to a screen and put some nice text around it. But we can do a lot more with variables, and we can add them together. So let's have combined age equals Mark plus Dylan, and print combined age comes up with the number 58, which is obviously the combined value of Mark and Dylan's ages. Once again, notice that the variable of combined age has no spaces, isn't it? It has an underscore joining the two together, so it becomes one word or one variable. And once again, we can make that pretty by typing print the combined age of Mark and Dylan is, comma, space it out, combined age. There we go. Right, so that's tested out all the syntax and all the variable printing and defining in the command line. So let's go and write that into a program. As before, we need to put that into a text file. So we're going to go back to our documents folder, So this box down here, which is our file manager, go to our documents folder, right mouse click, create a new document, empty file, and let's call that variabl.py. Okay, and then right mouse click on it and open the text editor. Okay, so the first thing that we can do will be to make some notes. This is a program learning about variables. Okay, so Mark equals 50, Dylan equals 8. It's quite traditional to define your variables at the top of your program. Okay, so we can then print, well, let's just put printing a space like that just makes a character turn, so it makes when it prints on the screen it's not quite so jumbled up. And then print Mark is very old at Mark. So that's the text, Mark is very old, comma, and then the value of Mark, the variable. Print Dylan is not so old and is, comma, Dylan. Okay. And notice on the screen here that the word print has not changed colour. That's because I've made a mistake. I've put a capital letter for print instead of a small letter for print. The reason for that is, as I've said before, you have to be careful with your syntax or your capitalization in Python, and the print command uses a lowercase p, not an uppercase p. Right. Okay, so we're going to define combined age equals, and then that'll be Mark plus Dylan, and then we're going to print that out. So once again we'll make it, print space and then print the combined age of Mark and Dylan is, that's the text bit, comma to separate it out, and then the variable, which in this case is combined age. Print. Right, let's save that up here. What's that? That's save the current file. Okay. Go back to our folder where we have the file saved, and then right mouse click, open in terminal, and that will open it straight there. Now you don't have to use that method to get to the documents folder. You can go there from the command line. So go to your command line and open up a command box, and then if you do a ls for list, you'll see that the blue words represent folders, and you can see the documents folder there. Then you can do a cd space, and then you don't have to type all the Word documents in. If you type in doc, here's a trick. The tab key is your best friend. and that is up the top left hand corner of the keyboard, just under the 1 to the left, and it's got like a left arrow and a right arrow on it. If you hit that now, it auto completes what it thinks the best guess is for anything beginning with doc. There's only one thing that begins with doc, and that's the folder documents. Hit return, and it's dropped you into the documents folder. So if you type in ls now, it gives you a list of the contents of that documents folder. And in there you'll see there's two programs. One's called variable, one's called variables. One's a cheat, I did it earlier. Now if you type in var now and then the tab key, Python first of all, which is the program, and then var, it completes variable but stops, because that is the unique bit, because there's a variabl.py and a variables.py. It doesn't know which one we need, so then we have to complete the rest. So variabl.py is what we just wrote, and then we'll hit return. And there we go. Mark is very old at 50, Dylan is not so old and it's 8. The combined age of Mark and Dylan is 58. A very simple program, but it does, I hope, introduce the concept of variables to you. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next video. Good night.